When my rude girl, them who support me, we gon' match up them man in the party. We gon' make them ball out for mercy. All
What's good, YouTube? It is your girl Jay, BK Syndicates. I am back for another Young and the Reckless, episode 5, The Smash Room. And let's get to it. So we finish back off with, Mel and Ivory. They are fighting still. This one was actually pretty good. I think they had like 2 fist fights in the span of like a couple minutes. And Mel is holding her own, but Ivory is just way too much. Like she's throwing haymakers. Like the time that Mel touched the floor, Ivory hits her right inside the face and everything. Next thing you know, they're fighting again, swinging. Ivory's throwing hands on her, swinging, and she flips Mel on the floor like a fucking sheet, folded, and starts like hammer striking this bitch like UFC. This shit looked like UFC when she slammed that bitch. Like, yo, Mel is definitely a fight. Now, I wanted to be clear because someone did say in my last review that I was being biased towards the episode, and because I said that I liked Ivory. Just because I said that I liked Ivory in the 4th episode doesn't mean that I like Ivory in total. Ivory is still a bully and she still needs to get her that ass whooped. I'm waiting for someone to knock Ivory out like Hood Baby did, like she did Hood Baby, okay? Ivory is still a fucking bully, and to be honest, all that shit Ivory was doing, she was wilding out too. And maybe she was on some shrooms like fucking Mel B, but she wasn't like Mel B was on another world, okay? It was like Ivory times 3 with Mel B. It's just that Mel B fought Ferragamo and KP, and Ivory fought them. I think they didn't even fight. She hit Shea Bands. She fought Legacy. She fought KP. No, not KP. She fought Kai. And I'm trying to think, who was the other? Did she fight somebody else? She kicked freaking Adriana in the face. Then they was trying to get her to go home, and then she wouldn't. So yeah. Let's continue on. So after they break up the last fight with Ivory and everything, Ivory sits her ass down telling the bitches, oh, you bitches you welcome. That bitch is an animal, and somebody had to put her down. I was like, yeah, you're right, but someone also got to put you down and knock you down a few steps, because it seems like you fighting Mel just amped her up even more for her to want to fight more. I don't know. That Mel, I don't say that she can go toe-to-toe with Ivory, but she definitely kept up there just like Kai. Then we move on to the next scene, and then we get told in a little text that Adriana left. That she left, and that she decided to leave the home. She said that she did her thing, and now she's out, and that she gotta go make money. Later on that morning, Shea Bands, she comes into Ferrari's room. Also, why was Ivory sleeping in the bed with Ferrari? I thought that Ivory had like her own bed and everything, and Naj had their own like separate room and shit. But she's sleeping with Ferrari, so I'm like, oh, so that's probably why Ferrari and shit isn't telling Ivory all types of instructions and telling her what to do and try to control Ivory, because Ivory sleeps in the same room as her, and she probably don't want those problems like what happened with Mel B, Ferragamo, and KP. But it was a little weird to me. I'm like, why is Ivory sleeping in the bed with Ferrari? It was just a bit weird. Shea Band comes in there, she sits down and starts talking to Ferrari and lets Ferrari know that Adriana left. And Ferrari had no idea. And I'm like, you're the fucking host of the show. You should know these things, but also your production staff should have let you know and told you as soon as she left that, hey, Adriana left and she's gone. Why is it that one of the cast members have to let you know? And you're like, oh, she even texted me. I don't get anything. I didn't know. That's weird. Like, that shows me that Ferrari is not a good host. The host should know what the fuck is going on at all times. You should know when a girl comes into your thing, and you should know when a girl drops. Like, just like when, and I mean, I'm skipping a little bit forward, but when a new girl comes in, Ferrari didn't even know what they didn't even remember her name, and they wasn't even familiar who she was. So it's like, are you picking these girls for real, or are you just like, you know, just there to be there? Because Ferrari hasn't done shit in the last 5 episodes to make me think, oh, I want to see Ferrari again in season 2. Nothing. Moving forward, all the girls and everything are waking up. KP and Ferragamo, their face is fucked up. Especially Ferragamo's face. Like, her lip was swollen. She was swollen. She had scratches all over her face. So did KP. And yeah, they was talking about how crazy fucking Mel was. And how she was behaving the next night. And how she was trying to put them out the room. Like, nah, bitch, this our room. And they go and take showers and all that shit. We skip forward to Naj and Cuzzo were in a room. Cuzzo's getting changed. What the fuck was that she was wearing on? Like, even when, like, you know, when the show starts, like, everything that we saw the girls wearing in this episode is what we've been seeing, is what when the intro starts. So with Naj and Cuzzo, Naj is rolling up a blunt in the bathroom, and she's talking about how bitches was on crack and how niggas was crazy. Once again, I wanted to be clear about Naj, that Naj still gives me dick eating and gives me hypocrite. The fact that Naj has not even talked about how Ivory was tripping out on all the other girls, and how, you know, Ivory should also, you know, leave because Ivory was also wilding out, really shows me that there is a lot of favoritism in this house. And that the fact Naj is not even the host, but yet she still gets privileges like a host. And Ivory also gets privileges just like Naj, and they get to ride in the car with Ferrari. They get to, like, beat in Ferrari's ear. They were the ones that picked out the rooms for all the girls. So it's weird. All the girls are getting ready for the photo shoot. And Ferrari then enters the room where Sav and all the other girls are chilling. I think Shay Bands was there too. Yeah. Charmaine. No, it doesn't, like, I don't think Ferrari was trying to be a bit messy, but she was asking Sav questions on, like, how she feel about Mel, how she feel about this girl, how she feel about that girl, just trying to, like, see, like, what Mel was good, what Sav was gonna say. And I'm glad that Sav was like, well, I don't really know, I'm not really trying to get involved in shit like that. So Sav just kept it, you know, what she feels about shit and how bitch is wilding out. Then we skip forward. Mel is coming out her hotel, because also, there's one thing I wanted to say about Mel, because I don't like Mel. I didn't like her I didn't like her from what we saw in Diamond Cuts.
Hey, when somebody tell you chill out. I'm not going back and forth with you, son.
Hey, you ain't got to. I'm quiet. I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet. I'll be the fuck quiet. Leave me the fuck alone. Exactly. I can go. Exactly.
I don't like her hair neither. I'm somewhat like Ivory, but I don't like Ivory. Like, that's the thing. Like, Mel has not given me a reason to like her, because all she's done is scream, yell, fight, and go over to the extreme. Ivory has some moments that you're like, okay, this bitch is crazy, but I kind of like her.
Act like she ain't see me though. Bitch, you see me. Bitch, I'm standing right here on my soul. Bitch, try to get Lexi, the smallest bitch in the house. Bitch, come here. Bitch, we waited how long? Bring that ass, bitch, on my soul. What? We locked in, bitch.
Mel just gives off, I'm a crazy bitch. I'm going to... It seems like there's something, like, mentally off there. Ivory, we already know that bitch is there's something wrong with that bitch. Especially when she get drunk. But Mel is like, I can't, like, I'm trying to explain it in a way, like, I'm not even trying to validate that Ivory's better, because Ivory's not. They're both, like, one and the same. But it's like Mel is just, she doesn't give you a likability of, like, trying to, like, redeem. Like, she doesn't give you anything redeemable that makes you like, oh, I like her. She's just pretty. That's all Mel is. She's pretty with big titties, but she just wilds out. And the fact that you're always drinking different, you're always mixing different liquor and different drugs, and then you start wilding out like that. It's like, whoa, bitch, like maybe you shouldn't be drinking no more. Like I said in the last 2 episodes I did, a lot of these bitches should not be drinking at all because we see how they act and we know a lot of them are underage. But continuing on, remember how they tried to make Ivory go home, and well, not even go home. They tried to get her a hotel room. Ivory said, I'm not doing that shit. I'm staying the fuck here. If not, send me back home. I thought that Mel was such this big boss, big tough bitch that, you know, she not afraid of nothing. You should tell the producers that you staying in the room, that you staying in the house too. You're not going nowhere. So, yeah, that was a little bit like, I was like, So I guess you're not really as tough as you said. It was probably just the drugs that got you like strong, Popeye the strong man. So it was Mel, Legacy, and Ferrari. They're in a van driving to the photo shoot. Ferrari then starts asking Mel questions like, are you good now? You were tripping yesterday. Somebody told me that you were on shrooms. You were really wilding out. You was going crazy with my production, and like I hope that you're feeling much more better, much more sober, all that type of stuff. And Mel says that this was the second time she's ever tried shrooms, and the shit had her paranoid. And I'm like, now this, you should never do shrooms ever again. And bitch, you should not be drinking no more. Because that's wild to me that you only done it twice. Like, I've never seen shrooms make somebody act like that. So it really makes me think that you had to be on something more than that. I've taken shrooms and I've never wilded out like that. It has me very calm and relaxed. But then also, it's also something that people always say that if you're going to take shrooms and all that, you should be in a relaxing setting. You should be in an environment where, like, if you that you're not, that it doesn't make you trip out. So she already fucked up already when she took the shrooms, and she's in a whole entire environment where there's bitches all around you that you don't know. You were going out to the club. You were around an environment, people drinking, smoking, doing all this type of shit. And I really think that shit really just gave her, I think that she had a bad high. That shit made her start tripping out. And she shouldn't have been out in an environment like that while you're on shrooms. That shit can really fuck niggas up. So, Ferrari starts asking her like, oh, like, why were you talking shit trying to make it seem like I was trying to set you up or nothing? Says that she started saying all this shit about Ferrari and stuff because she felt that Ferrari was trying to ample the situation, and she told her to go fight KP while they were in the club. And she said that she didn't have a reason to fight KP in the club, so she didn't know why Ferrari was telling her to do that. Ferrari saying that I told you to do that because I knew that you had some issues with her in the house earlier, and get your big one. This is Young and Reckless. Do what you gotta do. And yeah, like her and Mel, yeah, I don't think like her and Mel or I don't think Ferrari fuck with Mel at all. And I think she gonna send that bitch home. I just don't think so. I think so for real. Let's move forward. And the girls get there to the photo shoot. All of them are dressed up, dolled up. A couple of girls are not dressed for the occasion. But it's supposed to be, I think, a punk rock / theme, but it has pink and black in it. So that's the intro. The intros that you see is what this episode is about. All the girls getting their little intros, doing their little thing, taking their little pictures, and Young and Reckless. After they were done with the photo shoot, Ferrari, Ivory, Naj, they're all in the van. Now, Ferrari starts telling them about the conversation that she had with Mel, and how Mel confirmed that she did take shrooms and that she was paranoid and was wilding out. That's when Ivory started adding her 2 cents about how I knew that bitch was tripping. Bitches be taking drugs out here. And honestly, I do think that Ivory be taking drugs her goddamn self. So it's kind of hypocritical that Ivory wants to be like, oh, yeah, that bitch was on drugs. That bitch was foaming at the mouth. So what we still need to understand what the fuck is that you was drinking and you was smoking on that had you really trying to fight everyone. Because let's be real, Ivory was basically paranoid that whole entire time that she walked into that house because she thought that there were 2 girls that was trying to jump her. So everyone she thought was an enemy to her. And I want to know what the fuck would you want that made you want to fight all those girls in the house. Ferrari is breaking it down about what Mel said, but Ferrari's trying to act like she's Natalie Nunn. Trying to act like, like she had talked a big game and that all this shit that she was saying to Naj and Ivory, like she said, like she didn't say it that way. She literally was just sitting there talking to Mel normally and like, let's try and fix it and all that bullshit. To now, like, bitch, I told that bitch, like, wait, like, get your big one. It's not my fault. Like, bitch, this. And now I'm like, oh, so now, like, you try to act all big buff and shit. Like, Ferrari is one of the worst hosts I've ever seen on a Ratchet TV programming so far. Like, she's terrible. I also thought that Nina too, but yeah, Ferrari brings nothing to the show at all. So we get back to the house. Mel B is moving her stuff in from the hotel. She's just all stuck up, upset, pissed off, bruised the fuck up, and she's not interacting with any of the girls because none of the girls really like her right now because of how she acted last night. So all the girls is not really fucking with her, and she's not just walking around looking like a little sad puppy, little hurt puppy. And let's get forward. Then we get to the scene where all of the girls get to the rage room and they all start, they get into separate teams. They start breaking shit in the rage room. When everyone is done, Ferrari then gets on the car and then starts telling people that she's about to do eviction notices. This makes more sense because these girls this looks like a little, rented out little Airbnb, little mansion thing that they're renting out for a week. They're only here for a week. Even Nas said when she was getting interviewed, when she was rolling up the blunt in the bathroom, that they got like 5-6 more days there. After the rage room, all the girls do their little eviction notice thing, and that's when some other shit start happening. Ivory and Mel, they get into an argument, and they're amped up. The girls are supposed to go back to the house, and Ivory says, "I'm gonna beat your ass when we get to the house." Mel wants to fight now, and they're like, "No, we gotta wait till we get back to the house." And Mel like, "Nah, I'm not going back to the house. If I go back to the house, I'm not fighting. I want to fight right now. I want to get out the way." And Ivory goes and gets her little fight cap. She gets her fight cap, puts it on, and they like tell the girls, "Take your sweaters off," and they do, and that's when her and Ivory start scrapping. They're getting it in, and then we go off and then the show goes off to the preview for next week's episode, and it looks like Mel actually does get some hits and get some shots in on Ivory and knocks her to the ground. She starts punching the face. But I want to see more of that fight so I can so I can see like who really was getting in some shots. But it looked like this time Mel got a bit of more of a hand on Ivory this time around. So I'm really I'm happy. I'm ready to see more of that. I am excited to see that. Oh, one more thing before I even think, because I almost skipped through it. The new girl that comes in, her name is Mima. Mima comes in. Then immediately I looked at her and I was like, yo, why is she giving me like T Love vibes? Like, she looks like she could go past for T Love's like sister. But the main thing I was like really like, I was like, how old is Mima? Because she doesn't look like she's in her early 20s, just maybe from her hair and how the clothes she was wearing on, and the makeup, but she doesn't look like she's a teen. She doesn't look like she's in her teens. She doesn't even look like she's in her early 20s. Like she looks like she's in like her late 20s, like early 30s. Like she looks like she's in her late teens, early 30s. And yes, and 30 is still young, but the way how this show is constructed, clearly this show is for you. It's constructed for like teen girls and like mid girls that in their mid 20s. But Mima looked a bit older than all the other girls. And I was like, maybe, but she never disclosed, like they never disclosed her age, then like all the other girls did. And I was just like, damn. I was like, damn, Mima's very pretty though. That's a very pretty ass bitch. But it was giving me T Love vibes. T Love dyed her hair black. Ferrari, like she sits down, she meets all the girls. All the girls is like, are you a member? Are you a cast member? She's like, yeah. They're like, oh shit. They're like, oh, okay, girl, this and that. Ferrari walks in. Ferrari then asks the girl, what's your name? Who are you? They're like, oh, okay, and everything. I'm like, so Ferrari, you don't know this girl name? I thought that you was the one that picked out all the girls on the cast to be here. So I'm like, why is it that you wasn't aware that she was supposed to be here and that you was like totally clueless of who she was and was asking her name? Like, it's very weird. Like, that's what I'm like, I don't think Ferrari had any type of hand in this show, that she just probably like, they probably gave her little things to look at and she's like, oh, I like her, she cool, and that's it. But I don't think Ferrari like sat down and helped production do all this stuff that they're doing with the girls. Like, it's weird. That is all that we have for Young and Reckless. I do appreciate you guys from joining me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will be back for more reviews. Thank you so much. Peace out, y'all.
Big thing, small thing, I winding up on all thing. Short thing, tall thing, I winding up on all thing, and it's thing.